Uncouth Radio. We are live. We are on the air. We are in the house, and the house is packed. Got my whole crew behind me. We got Sheila, aka Mellow Yellow. We got Ron, and I'm Black Y'all Wilson. We got Rob, Trowell Embiid over here. We got Jackie Chandra and Q the Rebel. So we got a lot to talk about today. We want to hop right into it. First, I know there was a big hullabaloo with Cardi B. You know, I had to find a way to get that word in. There's a big hullabaloo with Cardi B and Candace Owens. I guess Candace was trying to say that Cardi B was being used by Joe Biden and the white people of the Democratic Party, which was irony at its best. So I know some people feel like Cardi B isn't equipped to have the conversation with Joe Biden, and I know some people had a problem with that. I guess some people took issue with that, and some people felt like, why would Joe Biden sit down with her? So before I get y'all take on it, I'll just briefly give my take. Like I've been saying, I think Cardi B has a very big base. She has a very big fan base. And I don't know why it seems like people forgot, but she has been engaged politically for at least the last 3 years. She's done a lot of stomping for what's my man name? Not Joe. I keep thinking they all old white men. The other one. There you go. Bernie Sanders. Thank you. She did a lot of stomping for Bernie Sanders, and people didn't seem to have an issue with it then. Like she did a lot of sit downs with Bernie. She did PSAs with Bernie. She even did her own personal videos about Bernie and talking to Bernie. So why do you guys think it's an issue now that she's talking to Biden?
Dame, and to add on to that, here in the New York State, she's also been heavily involved in a lot of PSAs for censorship and for voting.
I'm not sure why it's an issue. But what I do like about Cardi B is everything that I've seen, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Everything that I've seen in regards to her talking and different things like that has been just very like, I don't want to use the word generic because but like Mar said, about voting, PSA, about censorship. It's like in her lane. It's like in her level of knowledge. She's not off talking about craziness. She's not off talking about historical things that she's not sure about. She's not talking about, she's just giving general things. She's doing the, P. Diddy rock the vote type situation. I really like that. The thing with Candace Owens, I'm not sure why people continue to go after Cardi B, but I really like how she answered. Like, you have you met with Trump? You're doing all this stuff with him. Like, what's going on your end? So I like the way she's approaching it. I like that she adds that pet there because she completely puts in that she put in like, oh, you talking about my music, you're bumping it on this boat. So, I don't have a problem with it. Use your base appropriately, stay informed, and it seems like that's what she's been doing. You want to talk about a candidate, you go directly to the candidate. You're not just spewing off stuff. And I don't know why it's a problem now though. Maybe people are just more politically aware because we're kind of in crunch time. But yeah, like Pandora said, she speaks the language regular people understand. She has a base, so she's talking to them and they're listening to her, and she's using it. I feel appropriately. So Candace needs to relax.
Sheila, what's your take on
Sheila,
it?
you
My
up?
bad, Sheila. What's your take on it?
Pretty similar to Chan. I mean, musically, I'm not even a huge fan, but I cannot dismiss somebody who's trying to use their platform for something, positive. And I mean, anything that's not Trump is something positive at this point. And I think that she's being attacked for obvious reasons. Anything that is not Trump coming from the Trump side, they're going to look for the same reason that Kamala got attacked, even though she is legit the smartest person on the entire ticket across the board. They tried to come after her like she's not worthy, same deal. I mean, they understand the influence that Cardi B has, and that's a huge threat to them. So they had to come out and try to attack her for it. Is she the most articulate person? No, but half of America isn't. So I'm actually kind of happy to move away from that stereotype, because we always try to act like whoever's speaking out on our behalf has to, speak the best way and do everything perfectly. And that's just not reality. Some people are more articulate than others, but if you're trying to work towards something positive, I'm with it. And they're just attacking her because they're scared that this could really influence something. Consider the alternative. She could be one of these ignorant ass entertainers out here like, I don't care about voting, because please believe there are some of them out there. At least she's trying to, use her power for good.
I agree. And I feel like to Pandora's point, she says she feel like we know she got a book coming out. She wasn't invited to the Republican National Convention to speak. Her shining star in the Republican Party seems to be fading. So at this point, it feels like she's trying to do anything like to catch her last ditch effort of trying to get attention. And she chose Cardi B to pick a fight with, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, she has a book coming out as well, and she don't have no burn, no heat on her name right now. What you think, Quincy?
So far, I mean, between Cardi B, Twitter, and Instagram, she got 89 million followers. That's a lot of people that's following Cardi B. It's just that whole thing of, folks. I guess she fit a certain stereotype that folks think she's ghetto, and Candace Owens speaks well. That she feel like she's superior to Cardi B, but I don't think Cardi B is being used by Biden. I watched them talk, and to me, I thought she asked a lot of questions that a lot of the people that follow her would want to be asked. Unlike Trump supporters who tend to coddle him and don't really ask him the hard shit. I thought Cardi B asked Joe Biden, the direct questions that many of her followers would want. So no, I disagree with the notion that she's being used. And like Sheila said, I'm kind of glad we're moving away from that stereotype to feel that somebody who sound and look like Cardi B shouldn't be allowed to use a platform. But at least she's doing something positive with it.
Absolutely. What about you, Ron?
I feel it's you hear me first, and you make sure I got my headphones.
Yeah, we got
you.
You
Guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. I personally feel it's a reflection of how the system or the Democrats see us. Is that we're basically they don't take us serious. So I'm trying to make this as quick as possible, and to show proof of that is that they rarely interview people who are well educated in economics. And again, I don't know everyone they interview, but when you're talking from an entertainment aspect, I think what Quincy said makes a lot of sense. It just has to do with who she has following her. So it's, you're aligned with what I like. You seem to think I'm the person that's for your ticket. Let me get your 89 million followers, or something of that nature. But for me, I just wish that they would reach out to some of the people who aren't as well understood, who also have different routes, and so that they can kind of communicate. For instance, Ice Cube. I know a lot of people here don't agree with Ice Cube's path, don't agree with what he's trying to do, or the timing of his path. Not necessarily they don't agree with him. They just don't agree with the timing. And to me, he is going to speak to Ice Cube, but that to me is like the first person. Like if you're going to pick a rapper, pick Chuck D. Now he may not be as popular, but to me, and again, maybe it's because he aligns more with what my view. I think they have a lot more to offer as far as what we should be doing and who we should be voting for, or whether or not if we should be voting or not. Again, personally, I'm not a person that's the system. I don't normally vote in this fashion for president, but I'm getting on board with everyone else. I see a threat. I think this is the best way to get beyond it. And ultimately, it comes down, I think that's just how they view us. They really don't take us serious. And it's because we haven't asked for anything. But I mean, this is the time to change. So I'm waiting to see what his 4 years are going to be like, and who he's going to be inviting to the White House. You know, similar to Trump. Trump brings in the Kanyes and people of that nature. So I'll be curious once he gets in who he brings to his office and who he wants to speak with, if there are only people that align with his way of thinking, or if he brings some outside thinkers in to say, okay, you know, we've been trying this for so long, let's try a different approach. So I'll be curious to kind of see how it plays out. But ultimately, it's just you know, it's politics. It's what you do. You get people that people like, get them to say they like you, and hopefully they'll be on you know, in line with you. You know.
Yeah, I think one thing I would hope that we don't do though is minimize Cardi's voice though, because we don't like the way she talks, and because sometimes we don't agree with what she says and how she says it. Because and the only reason I say that because, like I said, I've been following her for the past 2-3 years, and she's been active the whole time, even back through the primaries before Ice Cube. So I feel like it's kind of whack to say, well, I wish he would meet with Ice Cube, as if meeting with her was whack. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't feel like meeting with her was weak, because she has been involved in the political process since the beginning of the primaries. Like, since the beginning of the primary, she has been involved in the whole political process the whole time, doing interviews about it, talking to people. And I don't feel like even the things that she was saying was just on from an entertainment aspect. I really feel like she was talking and asking about the things that affect her actual followers, right? She was talking about healthcare. She was very specific, asking questions about healthcare. She was asking questions about education. She was asking questions about she was asking questions about a lot of things to me that was important. So that's why I disagree with Jamal when he said this was Biden's hot sauce in my bag, because I also feel like that minimizes her voice too, because I don't feel like Joe was up there pandering, trying to rap and shit. Like, of course, first of all, let's get this straight. All fucking politicians are pandering to their base, period. Like, let's just be clear. What you say, Quincy?
Okay, that's how you get votes.
Like, that's how you get votes. But I feel like we the only ones who feel like, oh, they just pandering. I'm like, what do you think Donald Trump is doing when he say racist shit? He's pandering. He's pandering for votes. He's pandering. He says she's not in the process. She asked for the receipts of her taxes when she first popped off, then asked for free health care, and she is into the process. I don't know what you're talking about, Jamal. She is into the process.
Well, I'll say this too. I don't. I think they do take it serious. They have to, because they learned from 2016 what happened if we don't vote. That's why you had a whole Democrat primary debate on reparations and shit that we have never heard before during a Democrat primary during debates. But I would say this. Cardi B fan base is different than Ice Cube. Joe Biden campaign also met with Killer Mike and Snoop Dogg and DL Hughley this past week. And that this is coming from April Ryan. Killer Mike fan base is different than Cardi B's. Snoop Dogg fan base is different from Killer Mike's. And DL Hughley, that's a whole different type of fan base. So because, you know, they reached out to one person, that doesn't mean that they pandering or whatever, because, you know, Black folks, although, you know, we have the same interests, but we like to hear from different folks. So it is, I think it's only smart for them to meet with different people. I mean, you had candidates back in the 60s meeting with Jim Brown, Kareem, Harry Belafonte, different entertainers from different areas. So I think it's important for them to reach out and do the same.
Well, yeah, and like you said, Quincy, to your point, as much as because Ice Cube is from our generation and we care about Ice Cube, a lot of Cardi B fans don't care about Ice Cube, and a lot of Cardi B fans, it's not Ice Cube's voting block. A lot of Cardi B fans
Exactly.
are more the voting block that he needs to try to get now. Like the crazy thing is, Ice Cube's fan base is mostly black men over 30, who is probably the hardest people to convince to vote for Biden right now. Anyway, to be honest, like if we've been 100% real, Jamal says she's complaining about high taxes while asking for policy to raise her taxes. That's what I mean. Well, you conflating two different things right now, because she probably had problems with her taxes, but asking for policy that's going to raise her taxes, she's asking for policy for everybody. There's a difference in talking about what's about yourself and what's about everybody. So
and to add to that, Damon, this is, I actually was thinking about this. It's interesting in a sense because Cardi B, you can actually see her evolution from when she first started to where she is now, and to this young generation, like she's, for lack of a better word, their Beyonce, where she can actually create this movement of education, in which they will listen and they will take a greater interest in. The other thing, jumping back to the Candace Owen thing, is that to know her history is also to understand that she's clout chasing for the simple fact that she was a journalist and she is heavily into marketing. So she's looking again for opportunities to create or to extend that 15 minutes of fame to again align some type of awareness with whatever project that she has coming out.
And to make the case even stronger for Cardi B, my daughter, who's 18, and this is going to be her first election, she the one told me that Cardi B was meeting with Joe Biden, because I don't follow Cardi B.
right.
So it was my 18-year-old daughter who, this is going to be her first election, voting, that knew about that. So it goes to Dane's point, which a lot of Cardi B followers are Bernie followers.
Yep.
And so, and that's the crowd that Joe Biden have to connect with, that Hillary Clinton didn't connect with. And we preached it till we was blue in the face on this show that the young people was not fucking with Hillary Clinton. And she continued to ignore that group of people.
Right.
And she paid the price for it.
I think also to add on to this situation with Cardi, Joe, is that, she's a mother now. So her priorities have definitely changed to the point where she's looking at things as how it could best benefit the children. When you look, this whole comparison of Candace versus Cardi, at least with Cardi, you can see that there's a genuine approach to create education and to uplift individuals so that they are aware of not just their rights, but aware of how to use their rights, as opposed to dealing with an individual whom, for the lack of a better word, is a puppet and wants to be a puppet and is trying hard to be a puppet, but is not. And it has been pandering for the past 2-3 years as far as becoming a Trump supporter, but is not receiving the recognition and invite to speak on his behalf. And so it's very interesting to me to hear people talk about how Candace has shut Cardi up, but at the end of the day, people are listening to Cardi B and people are laughing at Candace.
Well, Candace is a black Ben Shapiro. Candace has learned the art of talking fast and confidently, even if you dead ass wrong. And if you do that good enough and well enough, people will think what you're saying has some merit without
throw some big words in there.
Yeah.
But she told straight up lies though. And if you listen to the rebuttal, which I had to stuff my brain back in my ears at least 4 times to even make it through. She was just, and he didn't tell people to drink bleach. And it's like, why are you lying this hard? You're not even on their team anymore.
Because she's not part of that. She's not part of that Trump reality.
I get it. And
where
she's
they
using the 50
rewrite
Cent method, where she's going to come out dissing. She's an opportunist. I get it. But it still doesn't make me not want to punch her in the face.
Yeah, like Cardi B audience don't want to hear about. So, what do you want to do about prison? I mean, police reform. That's not how Cardi B asked it. You know what she said? We tired of the police shooting us. What you gonna do about the police shooting us? Because we tired of police killing our black men. That's exactly how she said it. So that's what her crowd, her fan base, they want to hear. They don't want to hear that, so how you gonna fix the criminal justice system? No, they want the question asked the way how Cardi B gonna ask it. Now I'm quite sure, and I wish like Rob said, I wish I was a fly on a wall when he met with Killer Mike. I'm sure Killer Mike came with the, about police reform and that type of stuff. And so, but Cardi asked it the way how her fans want to hear it. What you gonna do about the police shooting us?
And also, I want to go back to what Pandora said earlier too. Though she said we always we are never satisfied. We always talking about we want our celebrities to use their platform, and when they do, we like, oh, not that one. And that's the thing we got to stop doing. Like, do we want them to be involved or not? You know what I'm saying? And to Ron, what you say, Chan?
I was just saying, or how we want them to do it, or in the order we want them to do it. Like, we don't know the order that they talk to these people or who approached who. Just the conversations are being had. And I would rather it be Killer Mike, Cardi B, Snoop. I would rather all these people as Ice Cube, all these people at some point come to the table than say, and we happen to hear about Cardi B, we're like, nope, we don't want her. Let's go look for this person. Like, we can't do that because, like Quincy said, everybody is reaching a different type of base, and that's how you find out what your constituents.
Right, but then here's the funny thing though, is
You
that
can
when
meet
you
with Pinky and Cherokee, all I care for.
but
you're right.
But here's the funny thing is that when you look at it, it's like the people that Joe is having a conversation with have our best interests at heart. The person who is Trump is having a conversation with doesn't take his meds.
Well, that's why we was kind of. You remember when Trump was meeting all those black people when he first got elected, Steve Harvey and all those folks, and folks having a fucking fit over who he's bringing in.
Where are they now?
That to me, that was pandering. And I was kind of more mad at people allowing themselves to be used in that way because we knew Trump wasn't going to do shit for us. But that's what he was putting out there when he was meeting with those people, and we all seen the results of it because since he's been in office, he in full white supremacy now.
Oh yeah, like that's his last dish ever. Like we said, when it's time to pander to his base now, and the funny thing is, all those people who've been stomping for him so loud from the black side all that time, I didn't see them at the we didn't see Paris Denard at the the Republican convention. We didn't see Candace Owens. We didn't see Diamond and Silk. We didn't see all the ones who've been making the most amount of noise for him for these past 3.5 years. None of them I saw invited to the Republican National Convention
because they canceled Diamond and Silk a long time ago. Out loud, they canceled it.
Well, a big part of it is because now Obama not really a factor. He only needed those black people when Obama was a factor. Now he's going against another white man. He don't really need Candace Owens to speak at the convention. Because he's not up against a black man. If you notice, Fox News, they had that sheriff on every week. They had all these different black people on every week when Obama was in office. But now that Obama is no longer in office, most of the black people we don't even see anymore. I don't know when the last time we saw Sheriff Clark. And he was on that motherfucker like every day back in the day.
Jamal said, didn't Candace turn down an RNC segment? That's what she claims, but I have heard that from nowhere and nowhere that she was supposed to do it, except from her when she tried to respond to Cardi. She wasn't asked. She was on no list. I seen her on no preliminary list to talk at the RNC.
And here's the other thing. Like, do you really think that? Go, Chandra.
I was gonna say her turning down a segment doesn't even make sense because as big as she wants to be in front of everybody, as much as she wants to talk and that's the best audience ever for what she wants to do, she's not turning down no segment.
Let me take it even further. Do you think that Trump would turn down the opportunity for someone of Candace's nature to actually kiss his ass on live television?
Right. Here's my look at my African American moment. He needs those. Who is this person? What's going on? Okay, can we go to the next political topic?
Yeah, let's go to the next political talk. Because it's kind of what we were talking about a little bit. We're gonna get into it more. Biden campaign meeting with a lot of people in the black delegation that we actually respect. We can dive into a little more. He met with Killer Mike. He met with DL Hughley. He met with Snoop, and I think they said he's bringing Ice Cube in next, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, next week.
So Ron, because I know you have been, I know you have been real having trepidation about the Ice Cube thing. What do you think about the people that he's starting to bring in, the campaign is bringing in to talk to? People that we feel like can actually hold us accountable. Hold on, let me unmute you. Oh, you got to unmute yourself, Ron. You mute. I didn't mute you. Say you got to unmute yourself. There you go. You still muted, bro. It says you muted. Hold on. There you go. There we go.
You hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. You going in and out. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
It's like you're muting and unmuting. Is your mic unplugging or something?
No. Let's go to the next person, and I'll come back to it.
Okay.
You got that Candace Owen mic.
All right. So Sheila, tell me what do you think about the people that he's meeting with in regards to those voices that we have been listening to, those voices that we feel like have something to say when it actually comes to policy and the likes?
I think to the point that I think Mars brought up earlier is that I think it's a very smart approach. I think it's a pretty good strategy because you are talking about people who have very different followers. They always want to think that, oh, okay, yeah, it was a black person, so we all just like the same people, but we're so diverse. So it's a very intelligent move to get so many different types of entertainers on his squad. But I'm still not super geeked until we get past November because I just feel like Tupe Fiasco is just backed by Satan. And like if he had a NASCAR jacket, it'd be a pitchfork on it. Like I've never seen anybody get away with so much stuff. So I think that we could get all these people and get the appropriate votes and they still may steal this election. So I'm excited about his strategy. I think it's effective, but it's hard to really get excited about real change until we get to that point.
All right, Ron, are you back now?
You hear me now, right?
Yep, got you.
Okay, perfect. I feel it's great. I went in a slide. I think all the.
Oh, hold on, you breaking up. Hey, Ron, you breaking up. You breaking up really bad. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I'm sorry, y'all. Somebody said they appreciate. Let's pull up this comment real quick. I appreciate all the race hating done here tonight. I don't even know what that means. I guess because we don't agree with Candace Owens. If you think us not agreeing with Candace Owens is race hating, sorry to that man. I don't know who that man is or who that woman is. Well, we'll go to Chandra. Chand, what are your thoughts on who he's been meeting with?
You would go to me after reading that comment. I agree with Sheila. I'm like 100% with you on everything. Right down to the fear of the election stealing. I think if it were fair, it would be a great strategy and we'd be okay with it. But we see time after time, he's like she said, the devil is on his side. So, but I think I like what he's doing. I feel like the black voice has been listened to a lot more than any previous elections, and I can appreciate that. So we'll see. And I think the good thing about meeting with these people is that fingers crossed, and they are elected. We can hold their feet to the fire at this point. Like you guys have met with our people, you know what we want. This is what you guys said. We have, these contracts we've talked about. These things that we're asking for. And so, hey, let's put this into action. So that's kind of where I am with it.
What about you, Rob? It's on you.
Again, I think it's a very good move. I think more so to me, it gives me a little bit of hope that once the first action that is done, it's going to be something that it's unfortunately it's not going to appease everyone, but it's going to be something that majority have spoken, in which can be pushed along the lines. I think,
Absolutely.
and again, I gotta say, he is listening to Simone.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. For sure. Quincy, I know you've been talking about certain specific voices and wanting us to have somebody who can actually hold them accountable, hold their feet to the fire. And I feel like, do you feel like the celebrities that they're starting to talk to and starting to meet with will not only help hold their feet to the fire, but also help connect to greater black minds that are connected, greater black minds connected to economics, greater black minds connected to social justice reform? Do you think that those celebrities will link the Biden campaign with more of those people?
Yeah, I think so. Especially, I was really encouraged when I saw Killer Mike was one of the people he met with last week. Um, because one thing about Killer Mike, he knows his stuff. That's and that's been one of my biggest criticism as far as Ice Cube is. I get that his motives are probably good, but his delivery and what he's putting out there, I think he needs to be a little bit more informed before he makes some of those videos. But I think overall, it's a good idea. I would like for him to meet with more people that connect with the young folks. Like I said, my daughter is 18. She has no idea who Killer Mike is. So um, it would be good to see his campaign meet with someone that's why I like Cardi B. It goes back to that because there's a connection there with that 18 to like 25-year-old crowd. But I'm not surprised, to be honest with you, because I think a lot of people have been critical of Joe Biden over his career, and in a 50-year career in politics in this country, you're gonna make some bad mistakes. But an eye opener for me was an interview he did, I said a few years ago, where somebody was asking him about systematic racism in regards to policing, and he said, "Well, systematic racism is just not in with the police. Is it with police? It's with housing, it's with economics." And that's when I was like, okay, he finally starting to get it. So I'm not surprised. And then, like Rob said, once he got Simone behind him, that I think that'd be effective. And like I said, I think one thing that everybody learned from 2016 is that our vote is needed. So I do think they're taking us serious and hold their feet to the fire. And if don't, then shit, we got the primaries to not come out and vote.
Yeah.
and
Go ahead, Mars.
and what's interesting and at the same time what is so beautiful about it is that he's meeting with strong personality individuals whom,
Who were
if they
challenged.
don't, right, if they not only are they're holding his feet to the fire, but if they don't like what they hear, they're going to voice it, not just to him personally, but to the public. And the fact that he's met with these individuals and you have not heard any negative reaction, you have not heard anything, no negative news is, and even like Mike had a little bit of something that I saw, and I didn't know where he was alluding to, but it was a positive towards positive reaction towards Biden. I think he's saying the thing, not the right things. He's saying the honest things with change in mind.
But
He's
I,
yeah. Go.
I just want to say this. I just wish the celebrities will also push uh, candidates in the Senate and House elections, because what's the point of giving Joe Biden a black contract or whatever?
Right.
It's not going to pass to a Republican Senate or House.
Mhm.
So I mean, and to be approved for any bill or money, it has to be approved by Congress. So I would like to see more of them push. I mean, you got a black man going against Lindsey Graham in South Carolina. I would love to see a lot of more of our celebrities get behind some of these people that's battling in these Senate seats, because you could tell Biden to do this and do that, but if it's a bunch of Republicans in the Senate and in Congress, we're gonna be right back to where we were with Obama for 6 years, which ain't shit gonna pass, especially when they got a black agenda centered around it.
All right, now let's see if we got Ryan back on the line. Go ahead, Ryan.
I'm back, y'all.
There we go.
No, okay. All right, cool. I have to switch up my headphones. So I was just saying how excited I was about Biden about to win. You know, I think he's going to win on a landslide. I have no fear Trump's going to win, especially after seeing all these younger people our aid during the George Floyd thing. You know, so I think there's a lot more people that are going to get involved during this voting, even with, you know, black people. Some of the black people saying they're not going to vote and whatnot. I think that's going to actually be irrelevant when it comes time to actually go and vote, because we've seen quite a different shift in this country since that George Floyd video was released. And with that said, I just can't, you know, wait to see what he does when he gets in office. Like Quincy said, he kind of just broke my heart there with, you know, let's lower our expectations, you know, unless he has a Senate and the House on his team. So I'm prepared to go out and vote. Anyone that sort of has a like mind like me, let's just do this one for the team. Let's put our personal beliefs aside. Let's go ahead and vote. And then once we vote, then we have something to say. And that doesn't mean, like Quincy said, just stop with the president. We also have to contribute in the Senate, the House, and all the other positions. Because when we get there and then it doesn't work, now we have something valid to actually go off of and say, you know what, we were on your side. We voted for Biden. We were there for the House. We were there for the Senate. And the Democrats don't pass it, I don't want to hear shit from anybody that wants to be on Team Democrat. That's all I can say. I don't want to hear shit for that. And then they still don't do it. Ultimately, they're the covert side. We're just showing this term. What we're willing to go different. We tried. You guys came with us. You guys compromised. Now it's time for us to compromise and maybe take a different route for what we see as the right way to go about it. And I think that's the way you kind of work as a team and as a tandem. Okay, your route is better. Let's try it. Let's see how it works. If it doesn't work, that other side should then be more than willing to say, you know what, you guys came on our side. You tried something you don't morally feel comfortable doing or even, you know, believe in, but you tried it. Now it's time for me to try it that way. And then we can move in unison, you know, but we're always so combative with each other on little issues, not little, but on issues of this nature that we kind of turn each other off. And we split our votes, we split our thinking, and then we end up back in fighting amongst ourselves. When the fight is not against us, the fight is against the system, you know. So that was it. And I'm glad you guys came back to me because, like I said, I'm calling it now. I think Biden's going to win a landslide. It's going to be like everybody in this way, but I think Biden's going to win the first day. Like what was that, Obama's first term, where he won by 4 p.m. and he was already calling it. I think it's really similar to that.
Well, Ryan, I don't know if it's your headphones, if it's your mic on your computer, but you're starting to break up again. Yeah, it's like I don't know what it is. Something happening over there that's never happened. But let's try to figure it out.
And
I'm good. I'm muted.
The Grand Wizard, he rolled out his list for his Supreme Court choices today.
Yeah.
So I tell people sometimes, man, look, we can't be one track minded on this. And with Trump, one thing about Trump supporters and Republicans, look, they know how this system works.
Mm-hmm.
They know what they're gonna do. Yeah, we just not gonna just win the Republican presidency, have a Republican president. They're gonna make moves through gerrymandering to make sure they have a Republican House, a Republican Senate, and then Trump is flooding these courts these federal courts with conservative judges. Like, and then he's just waiting to make these Supreme Court nominees. And so we just have to continue to think big picture, but also, like I was telling somebody, I would like for also like just don't stop. We just can't stop at the presidency. How about we also tell Joe Biden, look, we got him to choose the VP that a lot of us wanted. We wanted a black woman. Let's start suggesting who should be the next attorney general. That's the highest law enforcement official in the country. Like, why stop there? Like, we can still make these demands and requirements because look, we got to learn how to just use the system and not just focus on about the presidency. Because a lot of the shit that affect us goes beyond the president, you know? And so that we really have to start not just think big picture. Because yes, like I said, Biden gonna be gone in 4 years. We gotta also see beyond Biden. Because Biden only gonna be in office 4 years.
I agree completely. I think that we need to make it the norm. Like, we can't ever go to a position ever again as Black people where we're not paying attention to politics. As soon as we get them voted in, we cannot go sit down. We have to say, okay, you're here now, push our agenda. We have to start putting our eyes on, okay, who are we voting for in this next election in 2 years? Because to Quincy's point, none of this means anything if we're against a bunch of Republicans in the House and the Senate. So even after we get past that, next presidential candidate. Okay, let's look at what Biden has done. So if Kamala tries to run, she needs to have some receipts for stuff that she has actually done for us. If she hasn't done anything, we're not paying attention to her. But this has to be our normal going forward. We cannot ever go back to being relaxed and not paying attention to politics.
Well, in the back,
I don't think it had to do with us being relaxed. I just think it had to do with, unfortunately, we're poor. Some of us don't really have.
Ron, we can't hear you. We can't hear you, Ron.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I think. Well, for me, I think that what happened was everybody realized how important the Black vote was, but Black people until now. And now that we know, now we have to figure out how to leverage it to speak to the point that Sheila and Quincy just made, naming those things. Now that, well, I'm not saying we, but now that as a collective we know, now we see these celebrities speaking out. We see all these influential people. And somebody mentioned talking to conservative Black people.
I want to go back to that comment. Right. and read it. That was from Kamala.
Not the whole Candace Owens, but I know y'all follow some real conservative people who actually have been on the Biden train as well. But he needs to talk to them because we get to a point where we know, like our thing, we talked about this. Ron has talked about this many times. Yes, we do need our own party. We do need our own, just everything. We need just our own. But because we have to be here now, then we need to figure out how to make our minority voice the majority now. And we're starting to do that. And like Sheila said, now let's keep going. Let's not lose this momentum. Like Ron said, let's not fight amongst ourselves about who should be doing this and who should be doing that. You know what I mean? We need to collect.
And to back up to that point, the proof in that, I think we dropped the ball in 2016. I think now I was talking to Chandra about this earlier, is it took Trump to start overturning shit for people to actually find out what Obama did to help us. Because what our focus point was in 2016 was, well, Obama didn't do nothing for Black people, and Hillary and Trump is the same. What we should have been focusing on is actually focusing on the stuff that Obama had implemented, and then find the best candidate that was going to continue that on, doing the primaries, and then making sure that person was set with the proper Senate and House to continue on those policies. Because everybody knew, because you had a whole bunch of people saying, well, Obama didn't do nothing, but guess who did know what Obama did? Trump. Because he was campaigning on overturning all that shit that Obama actually did. So folks didn't turn out, folks didn't come out to vote and turn out. And so everything that Obama had, because I had posted a video about Bakari Sellers, and they was talking about how Trump halted Obama's police reform.
Yeah.
And somebody inboxed me like, hey, Trump turning over all of Obama's shit. I said, you was the main person posting Obama didn't do shit. I said, so it took Trump to overturn shit for you to actually realize what Obama did. I said, this is why we have to be more informed and do our research and know, okay, cool. Obama, because Obama had to do a lot of stuff through executive order. He couldn't pass nothing through the House and the Senate because he had a Republican Senate in the House for 6 of his 8 years. So he had to do everything through executive order. Well, guess who could overturn the executive order by a president? The next president coming in. And we allowed Trump to get in office and overturn all that shit. And the reason why he's flooding these federal courts with Republican and conservative judges, because he want to go after Obamacare, because that's the one thing he haven't been able to touch, because that was actually passed in Obama's first 2 years through a Democratic Senate and House. So he had to actually go through the courts to overturn that. And that's why he's trying, because that's the one thing he haven't been able to touch. And that's why he's still pissed off at John McCain for voting against him overturning the Affordable Care Act. So we need to, like Sheila said, we have to stay consistent. Because one thing about white folks, they stay consistent. But they rely on they pretty much rely on us voting and not voting. We hot and cold. We have to stay consistent. Like, okay, this is what we want. Okay, cool. Now, once Biden and Harris get in office, we got to be realistic. Well, this is what we're going to look for in 2 years. And this is what we're going to look for in 4 years. You give us this in 2 years, we'll come out primary and we're going to be right behind you. You give us this in 4 years, then when Kamala ready to take over, we're basically, we're going to get behind her anyway, I think. But still, as for a re-election, because most likely she might be going against a Trumpster. Who knows? Because Trump completely flipped the party upside down. So, and basically now with the new Republican Party, them seeing what Trump been able to get away with, I wouldn't be surprised that the second Trumpster would be 10 times worse.
I was gonna say the next one is gonna be worse. So I want to go back to this comment from Kamala, not Kamala Harris, Kamala Gibson. She said, "I think Biden should consider, if it's not too late, being engaged with credible Black conservatives. This sector of our people tend to be in the working class, have genuine concerns that don't exclusively include social reform." And I agree with that, Kamala. And I think he has been, because like Chandra said earlier, I follow a lot of Black conservative voices that aren't of the ilk of Candace Owens. To me, they are really based in conservative principles, like what we knew real conservatism to be, not Trump conservatism. So you have people like Michael Singleton, people like Tara Setmeyer. There's a few others. They actually had their whole own convention. They had their own Republican convention where they was pretty much saying, we're the real Republicans, we're the real conservatives, we're not Trump conservatives. And a lot of them are saying, like, look, we're gonna vote for Biden, and after we vote for Biden, we're gonna go try to find a real Republican to run against Democrats the next time. And I'm gonna tell you, if these people, Michael and the guys that I follow, if they go get someone who's a credible representative of that party who's not steeped in racism, they will have a chance with me. They will have a chance, because I'm not voting Democrat just to vote Democrat. But following what Michael says, following what Tara Setmeyer says, following what those kind of conservatives are saying, if they saying like we trying to find somebody in the party to run for us, if they come out and they got, because these people are really involved when it comes to trying to push economic change for people of color. They are very in tune with, they just so happen to be conservatives. So my thing is, like you said, Quincy, if they aren't giving us what we have asked for in these first 2 years, then it is time to, we start dating. We start dating other candidates, and we start making it loud. Like, yo, I hear that there's this new Republican Party that's supposed to not be based in racism. What y'all talking about over there? What y'all candidates looking like over there? Because
I was going to say also, if Biden doesn't run in 4 years, it's a whole different primary.
Yeah.
So it's not a situation like Kamala could be challenged, like I said, because normally you don't run against the president that's already in office, but if Biden doesn't run, that means Kamala could be challenged, and we could get behind someone else. That's that it within the Democratic Party. Like, look, we don't have to necessarily support her.
Yeah.
We can get behind somebody else that's going to run.
I
Yeah,
think we
and
should
that's what I'm
start
saying.
like a holiday. Like seriously, I think we should start like a Black People holiday in November every year. That's like a check-in where like every radio show, every podcast, this is all we talking about. What have they done politically so far? Like a straight up report card at that point. Like even if we just started on this show, but just spread the word about it and just make that the norm. I don't care if it's on Black Friday, if it's just pick one day out of the year where we're saying, hey, where are we in terms of this house? Where are we in terms of these senators? Oh, we need to get rid of this person. Hey, they promised this and they're not keeping their word. We like I would really love something quarterly, but I'll settle for something once a year.
I say that we need to do that locally because there's way too many Democrat ran cities with racist police departments, and we that need to be checked because if it was a Republican mayor and a Republican city council with a racist police department, we'll be raising holy shit. So we need the whole, I didn't know, I wasn't aware of it. That's not an excuse.
Mhm.
So I mean, as liberal as Minnesota was, they had one of the worst damn police departments. So we really need to start holding their feet to the fire, regarding just locally, the local, liberals or whoever, holding them more accountable because there's a lot of racist shit that be going on. It's like, hey, okay, we get at the federal level how shit is ran because Republican Senate or whatever, but at a local level, some of this shit shouldn't be going on with all y'all in charge.
I just want to make sure that we have it at a point to where it is something that is structured so that we have a very specific check-in point. It's not just our random conversations. That there needs that it gets to be so normalized to where they start trying to, fill in campaign promises and pander to us because we're like, oh shit, they got the check-in coming in,
Yeah, no, for real.
I don't know how to get that started, but I really think that would be our best bet.
Well, I agree with you, Sheila, because what you're talking about is a mechanism for accountability, and I think right now we don't have that mechanism, and I think that's been the biggest issue because we don't have the same kind of lobbyists that other people have. Like we don't have the same kind of lobbyists that Big Oil have, the NRA, so white people have all these different lobbyists that can oversee all their interests separately. We don't even have one that can see our collective interests. So we need to figure out how to do that. We need to figure out how to have our mechanism to do the same thing, to hold people accountable. Because like, I'm gonna tell you, when I really changed the way I viewed all of this shit is when Jamal said we have no agenda. I disagree. There's actually a whole site and a whole agenda set up. I think where I changed the way I looked at this is when I saw Mayor Villaraigosa specifically. When he got in office, Mayor Villaraigosa, I don't know if y'all remember this, he got on TV and was like, I'm the mayor, and yes, I'm there for all of Los Angeles, but I'm finna put on for my people. I'm finna put on for La Raza. And it wasn't no qualms about it. He straight up was like, y'all voted me in here. I'm finna put y'all on you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh.
And he did.
But I think a lot of times because we don't ask for those things, we don't get those things because we like to vote without the ask. And I know that's what Ron talks about, kind of alludes to what Ice Cube was talking about. We'll give the vote without the ask. This time, we've actually had some ask, and we've been getting them just like you said, when all those celebrities came on and said, if y'all don't give us a black female vice president, y'all not getting a black vote. If y'all think that ain't have something to do with Kamala getting picked, you crazy. Because they were talking about actually Elizabeth Warren for a very long time was looking like she was going to be the pick. And then he says, oh, we're going to have a black woman on the Supreme Court. What do you think that's from? That's from us and our pressure. We got to keep that pressure on. And that's why I do feel like when you have people like Killer Mike, who I've seen Killer Mike talk extensively about different policies and talk extensively about the Second Amendment, talk extensively about a lot of the things that a lot of people aren't up on. I want him in those rooms, right? Like he's the type of person I want in those rooms. And I want him bringing the people who got him up on game into those rooms. Because then that's when we will have that mechanism for accountability and we will get some things happen. Because think about it. If you had Killer Mike walk in there with Ice Cube's plan and Ice Cube and Killer Mike and Killer Mike, who knows the system probably a little better than Cube, and he said, hey, let's break the plan down like boom, 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 boom. Then we can make moves. We can make the moves that we need. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I just think black folks as a whole, we have to remain consistent. We tell people that, we want somebody with a black agenda and we want reparations, but then when people actually run on that stuff, they get 1% of the black vote in the primaries. And that's not nobody but us.
Yeah.
Real point. Because we was Team Bernie, and if you talked about reparations in front of Bernie, he was like,
I mean, I was impressed with a couple of black agendas that was going on. People who actually had financial plans that but they got 1% of the black vote.
Like Andrew Yang, right?
Yeah, and Yang.
You know what our problem is, Q? Am I breaking up?
Go ahead, try. See what happens.
Damn it, Ron! You Teddy Roddy tonight.
We want to win.
I think where Ron said it and put up a thumbs up is that one of the problems is we want to win our way. Is that the point? Okay, yeah, I agree with that because I'm like, look, this dude was like, well, I was on Twitter. Dude was like, nobody in the primary was talking to black folks. I was like, where the fuck were you, bro? I was like, there was plenty of there was plenty of people who have much better black agendas than Biden. More detailed. I mean, talking about reparations and everything. I said they got 1% of the black vote. So we need to kind of be consistent on, okay, cool. If this person really pushing for us, because what that would have done is if the majority of us would have got behind that certain candidate, that probably would have been who Biden would have to put that person at least in their cabinet. I mean his administration, because those are the type of folks we want. Folks who have detailed black agenda like that. So hopefully, we can still push for that, but we have to be consistent on our messages there that if when it's actually folks that's actually with a black agenda and a black plan, we got to get behind them. Because I was kind of embarrassed that some of them people had 1% of our vote. I was like, what the fuck?
And that's the truth. And that's how we have to do a better job, like you said, of educating. Because one thing we've seen with social media is a false narrative can take hold and just catch fire and become the whole story. Like it'll become the real story. Like I've seen so many things that were false that were easy to disprove that were catching fire. And I felt like I was trying to put out fires, just trying to give people the information. And then the worst part was after you try to come get them truthful information, they were still like, nah, but fuck that. And the crazy thing is, I'm like, y'all talk about Trump supporters. Y'all kind of doing the same shit Trump supporters do.
Yeah,
when presented with new information, you still like, nah. You know what I mean? So we do have to do a better job of being educated, being consistent, and making sure we hold them accountable, because I think that's one of the things that we have never taken very seriously. And I know Ron speaks about this a lot. One of the things we have never taken seriously was seriously holding the Democrats' feet to the fire. seriously holding their feet to the fire, and that's what we have to do this time and this go round. And like I said, if not, I'll be over there with Shermichael Singleton in his new Republican Party.
You and me both.
Yeah. So I want to get into this real quick too. I think out of all the things that we have seen Trump do and all the trouble we have seen Trump get into,
Think he fucked up?
I think he's finally fucked up. And I'm in it because it was two things. It was two things where he finally fucked up. A lot of vets believe those reports that came out about what he said about the vets are losers and suckers, and I don't know why they go to fight for the war and they stupid to die. A lot of vets believe that. I've been, you know what comment sections I like to go in, and for the first time, I seen a lot of them people with American flags in their profile pic kind of had a problem with what Trump said, and then secondly, because I don't know how people can try to flip this, deny this, call it fake news. Him saying that he purposely downplayed the coronavirus and he's on tape saying it. So it's not reports. This is literally him on tape saying, go ahead, Chad.
He said his downplay was he didn't want to panic people. So he kind of made it seem like, oh, it wasn't that, you know what I mean? That was what that was the response to it today. I don't know if you guys saw it.
No,
I heard the audio, and he specifically said, like, oh, it's worse than the flu. It's really bad. It's all the things that they were saying. It was horrible. Now, Dane, I would agree with you on it's bad. I would agree with you with if this was like 3-4 years ago, because y'all know I go back and watch all the old shows to upload them to YouTube, and we like, Trump, this is it. He's done. This is the last straw. No more. Russia, COVID.
Everything he do.
Every single day is something else. I feel like we have to stop saying it because I feel like it's putting something in the universe. Like, let me
Yes.
What else can we come up with worse? Every time, like, is he gonna like I was gonna say, is he gonna insult disabled people? But he did that in his campaign. So
I think
I don't
He's
think
an equal
anything
opportunity
is backed
hitter.
by Satan, bro. I don't think
every
anything
time
is
we
gonna put
say
him
this
out of
is
the
it,
game.
every time we say this is it, I feel like this is it. I feel like it. I do.
I do too.
Don't believe
I
it.
do.
No.
But I feel like
I tell you why.
Dude,
Because this time his lies cost lives. It didn't cost lives. And before him lying about Russia, yeah. Him lying about Ukraine, yeah. Him lying about other shit didn't really it
The
affected.
bleach hurt some people.
Yeah, well, that's their fault. I don't even blame him for that shit. I blame whoever decided to go drink that shit. That's their fault. But this
Same as voting for him.
But this right here, I think that because when that statement was made, I think what makes it bad, when that statement was made, you got to look at the shit he was saying to the public at the time.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it like really bad, because he was saying the complete opposite to the public. And he telling no dude, hey, this shit worse than the flu. He telling everybody else, hey, this is just like the flu. The flu killed more people. It's the fact that what he was saying at the time, and we got 190,000 people dead, and a vast majority of them people shouldn't be dead.
Very low.
Quincy, I agree with you, but I think that you guys are trying to
They were even saying that we were shut down 2 weeks, and he knew well before that. So
he could have saved like 60,000 lives or something like that.
I agree, y'all. I do think it's bad. Like, even with the veterans, I was like, why are they mad about that? He's insulted John McCain. He's insulted veterans. He's insulted everybody. There's no group of people besides rich white men that he hasn't insulted. He's insulted everybody. Why are they mad now? Okay, so they said because he insulted like dead veterans, and and I understand that. And those are like those patriots, like proud to be an American, blasting on the horn. So that might, if that really did okay, but I don't know, y'all. I mean, I feel like that. I do feel like it's bad, but again, what next Wednesday is going to be something else. Like he killed babies or something. I don't know. Like it's going to be something else that he with.
Trump drums great grandchild.
He's gonna contradict himself. He's gonna say he didn't mean it like that or try to spin it. And I'm with you. Think about how many times we were like, "This is it. Oh my God, I can't believe he said that. He's done." And then somehow
Read that
miraculously
post,
he
Dan.
comes back
Yeah,
and
let me read
we
this comment.
still support him.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I
Because
do
that's what
not
I'm
think that
hearing what
this
this
is it.
post says.
But also, Sheila, I'm not saying this is it. Like I want y'all to be clear. I'm not saying, oh, this is it. He done did it now. I'm saying this is just the first time that I have ever seen his support waver from the people who are that, like, literally out of all the times, this is the first time that I've seen some veterans like, yeah, that's some bullshit. Because usually they'll back his play no matter how wrong. This is the first time that I've seen some people who was like, oh, he straight up lied and we heard it on tape. This is the first time I've seen certain people in certain circles even acknowledging that he did something wrong. Like, first of all, you couldn't even get them to acknowledge that he did something wrong. But I want to read Isaac's comment. He said, as someone that's still serving in the military, he still has strong support from people in the military. They are even justifying what he said about us.
Told you.
So what are they?
Like, bro, I don't count this dude out
Exactly.
for
They don't
nothing.
care.
So Isaac, what are they saying
know.
to just
It's like
justify
a
this? I want to
mind
know.
control.
I want to know what's used to justify it.
It's like a mind control. See, like I was listening to Quincy talk, and it was an articulate point, and it totally made sense. But we are no longer operating in a world of logic and making sense, like at all. And I need everybody who's logical to accept that. It's the only logical thing to do. They've been looking at him lie all year. This ain't a new lie. Like this dude lies so hard he'll contradict himself in the same sentence. He be lying
He'll
like
lie on his
Rick
lie.
James on that
He
Dave
can lie on his
Chappelle
lie.
skit. Like
And step on the couch.
The thing is, I don't expect Trump supporters to waver.
No.
But I do think that independents. I do think a lot of independents has wavered because that's where the election is going to be ran at. I mean,
Literally.
yeah. I mean, if anybody think Biden fit change Trump supporters' minds about Trump, that's not going to happen. Because I've actually seen people on Twitter low key try to justify it. It's just I've seen more people who normally make excuses for Trump not make excuses for him this time. And I think a lot of folks in the end, because how he has dealt with this, it has hurt a lot of people money. And in the end, people vote with their money.
I made that point before, and Dave, you disagreed with me. Like
I mean that's not every case, but a lot of people gonna vote with their money. And the fact that he has no plan to end this. He been caught in a lie, and I think I think that it's gonna be pretty interesting because I know the question gonna come up in the debate. It's gonna be pretty interesting when the debate is in 2 weeks. How
you get caught in thousands of lies. Like they try to have the fact checker, like they just quit. Like before he even stopped talking, they have to fucking give up. This nigga lies so much they don't even know if they need to count the previous lies that he had already told on this lie. Like it is insanity. Like lying don't mean nothing right now.
His lies. His lies have lies.
Let me add to this. The fact of the matter that he's actually calling people to vote twice, that should say something. Here's the other thing, Dane. The reason why I think this is not going to stick. What does Trump do whenever he finds himself in trouble? Throw money at it. Them stimulus checks is coming.
With his name on them. He put his name on them twice.
And people are going to forget.
Oh, well, you know what? Mars, to that point, the which one is the Republicans now?
They won
Senate.
Whatever bill that they just voted on, it did not have a new stimulus in there.
Yeah.
I heard that there's a voting
stimulus.
Oh, it wasn't in there.
No, we'll the Republicans feel giving you $1,200 twice a month. I mean, twice a year is way too. It's motivating you not to work because you got $2,400 a year.
Let me tell you something right now. Trump gonna make sure that money goes. Anything which he could do to change people's mind.
Y'all know what he tried to do? He tried to do it. This is what he tried to do it with unemployment because y'all know how they took away the $600 and they didn't vote to do it again. So he tried to do it with unemployment and like, oh, we're gonna give everybody $400, but the state has to put in $300 or something like. So then the state has to take a loan from the federal government to do it, and it's only like 3 weeks. So it's just so ridiculous. And all this is for show. That was the point I'm trying to make. Even if he does do that, like, oh, okay, I'm signing a law. The state needs to provide, everybody with $1,200. The state gonna be like, where are we gonna get that money from? But everybody gonna be like, oh, Trump gave us $1,200. Like,
if I can get this in real quick, can you hear me, Dane?
Yep.
Okay, just real quick. He's going to combat this Thursday on that Monday night or that Thursday night football game. Wait till somebody kneels or kneels the flag. He's going to have a tweet coming out. I support the troops. He should be standing for the flag. He just spent it. He's a spin doctor. He's a celebrity. So I think he gets right past this without. And like Isaac is saying, look at reading Isaac's next comment too. It's right on point because it's just like the.
Yeah, he said, much like the police, there's a dangerous groupthink that permeates through the military too. It's an us versus them mentality. And I've heard this a lot, like how racism is bad in the military.
Well, Dame, and y'all heard me say this in our little meetings. Who have I said don't necessarily make the best cops?
Former military.
Exactly. And this is why.
Yeah, and I mean, and let's also not lose track of the fact that all they're doing right now is trying to prop up this economy until this election comes.
Yeah.
After this election comes, ain't nobody else talking about no stimulus. It's just gonna be straight Hunger Games.
And then he trying to push that vaccine that's fucking up people's spines and shit.
Well, I heard they stopped the second trial today.
Yeah,
and the funny thing is, I think it's also connected to that damn video coming out. Honestly, like the video of him lying about how serious coronavirus is. I think now that they stopped the trials, I do feel like that's been connected to the news coming out, which is crazy how all of this shit is connected. Pandora said, did you hear about the congressman threatening black armed protesters? I did not.
Yes.
Oh, Quincy, can you tell us about that?
I want to say he's from Louisiana. If I'm not mistaken, if she's talking about the same person. Congress, man, he said something about if y'all show up with guns, I got, I could put down 12 of y'all all at once. It's some crazy shit.
I heard something
He has said, but I think people like that, you just got to kind of send them a message.
They always hard till somebody else show up with a gun. They always hard, like with unarmed people.
Yeah.
What type of message, Q? I'm curious to hear this one because I'm with you.
Shit, call his bluff. That's what I do. Fuck it.
I'm taking a message. All right.
I call this bluff. This is I don't know if y'all heard this. They found out from the Department of Home Security that somebody has been fixing the stats, the lower the statistics of the crimes that white supremacists have been committing to fit Trump's narrative. A whistleblower came out with it today. That they've been lowering the numbers and the stats of the crimes that's been committed by white supremacists, so it could fit the narrative that Trump is putting out. So that's the new whistleblower. I actually think, like, in this last 60 days, a lot of shit about to come out. I get the sense that people are just about to start leaking shit. It's just about to be all type of wild shit that comes out in the next. I wouldn't be surprised if it's more audio that we about to hear about something that's insane.
Yeah. This nigga about to drop more tapes than Bin Laden.
Yeah. Also, on that same video, when Trump was upset because he said he has done so much for black people that he feel unappreciated.
He has actually done so much for
that black people don't appreciate
never came together like this.
What he's done for him. And then when what's his name? Is it Woodman?
Yeah.
Tried to say, well, he said, well, do you see how me and you benefited from white privilege? Like my dad was blah blah blah. Your dad was such and such. And Trump was like, dude, you've been drinking the Kool-Aid. He was like, no. He told him just like that. He said, you've been drinking the Kool-Aid. No. Like so
And that's the type of on code we gotta be, Q. We gotta be just like that.
he said, no, you drinking the Kool-Aid. And I mean, and women tried to explain to him, like, no, we benefit from white privilege. Trump was like, no. But that's because what Trump has did, he has went full white nationalist with his campaign. That's why Candace Owens, none of them people are needed. What they're gonna rely on, he's going full white nationalist. They're gonna do voter suppression, and they're just gonna hope that some of us are so turned off by Biden that we don't go vote. And that's pretty much the plan. They don't want to win the black vote. They don't give a fuck about the black vote. We're gonna go full steam ahead. And then Dame, you post something about the diversity training, right?
Yeah. He stopped by diversity training.
Oh, that shit wasn't working anyway. I wasn't that upset.
Well, it wasn't for us. Anyway.
Exactly.
That shit wasn't for us.
If it was working, we wouldn't have all the same problems. That shit didn't work.
Yeah.
It's a waste of money.
That and that he's investigating California schools for
Teaching the 1619 project.
1619 project.
He don't want them teaching about
I
slavery.
want the truth
basically.
coming out.
Yeah, no, like he said, he's going full.
1619
Oh
was
yeah.
some,
We on the verge of like the 1950s. Fuck the 60s, because there was laws and shit implemented by the 60s. We on 1960 on back.
Yeah. Yeah, he going full like white nationalist because he know he's probably not going to get the independence. He's probably not going to get the never Trumpers. So he said, let me just double down on the people who I know will follow me if I shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue. And I think that's what he's doing. I think that's where he's going. All right, man. We're going to move in.
Putin's bitch, and the mission was to destroy America, and he did it.
No,
Can't destroy what's not built.
Michael Cohen said it. Michael Cohen said, he said first, and you know what? I have to go back and look at it. He said Trump he didn't think he was going to win. This shit was supposed to just be like a big like infomercial
publicity
type deal.
Yeah.
And so when you go back and look at the pictures when Trump actually won, he ain't happy.
He was shocked.
Yeah, he was shocked. But he said that him and Putin been in plan to build this hotel in Moscow since 2007.
Mm-hmm.
So he will never step on Putin's toes, because that's where he wants Trump Plaza to be, the next Trump Plaza to be in Moscow.
And I think that when Putin is done using them, he gonna just, if he try to like go to Russia or something like that, I think they're gonna either burn his ass up over there or sell him back to the U.S.
Yep.
Because he going to jail if he lose. That's why I know he gonna do something major. The cops is gonna be outside his house the day before the election. Like
they're not going to arrest that. They're not going to arrest that nigga only because America cares about optics, and America cannot have they cannot have a president go to jail. If they didn't arrest him, hell no. Trump is not. Y'all mark my words right here on Uncool. Ain't no way in hell they gonna let Trump go to jail, because America cares about optics way too much to let their president, no matter how dirty and how wrong he was, go to jail.
If we cared that much about optics, we wouldn't have him as a president in the first place. We have a complete fucking imbecile in office right now.
His optics are white supremacy.
Yeah.
His optics are white supremacy. And that's worldwide.
Optics, he would have never made it in office.
I think he might do what Michael Cohen said.
I was going to pick that up, where he said that he would resign, have Pence take over, and then Pence would
pardon him. Like, if he lose the election, because remember, he got 3 months. Yeah, he has about 3 months. So if he lose, Michael Cohen said if he lose, he's going to resign. Like after the election, Pence take over, and then Pence will pardon him.
But can he
have the trial in that time, Quincy? That's what I'm concerned with. Will he have enough time to go through the trial to be pardoned, or how are you saying?
No, because you remember George Ford. That's why Richard Nixon.
Right.
Hold on, time out. Let me address this shit real quick. Hold on, let me address this real quick. He said Trump and Putin plan to build a hotel. A Russian company built a hotel in California. Putin and Gavin Newsom are cahoots. It's not the same thing. My nigga, you are the king of conflating shit that don't match up. Like they have literal reports of Trump saying he wanted to build in Moscow with Putin and Putin being involved in it. It's not like he's just trying to be a company. You acting like Trump is just a one-off company trying to build a hotel in Russia. That's not what's happening, especially with him being the president. So please, man, like be smarter with your analogies. Like if you're gonna try to come with the slick shit, be a little more clever because
conspiracy shit.
Yeah, like because it's getting tired.
Plus, man, you'd be a great team member, dude.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what Nixon did. Nixon resigned because Nixon resigned so his VP could pardon him.
He still had to get arrested and go to jail to get pardoned. I mean, he still had to go through the process.
The only thing they have to do is the AG. They announced the charges.
Right, work a deal.
That's it.
Yeah,
took a
he
research that.
Yeah, he got Barney Rubble as his
AG.
His AG announced the charges, and they fucking apart. Trust me, if you think this haven't been discussed already, they are not going to wait.
Yeah.
This should.
You know what'd be funny if Pence hate that nigga for real and don't pardon him? That'll be hilarious.
It won't happen. They stay on code.
Yeah. Well, see, I don't think Biden would pardon him. That's why he would have to get pardoned before Biden was to take over. Because I don't think Biden will pardon him, but Pence definitely would pardon his ass.
I don't know.
I'm not making a real estate and presidential governmental conspiracy. It's literally not a conspiracy because we know this president and his daughter has used the presidency to further their real estate agenda. It's not even a conspiracy. Like this is known shit that's reported, known fact.
Is he a Trump supporter, Dane?
Huh? Yeah.
Is he a Trump supporter?
Yeah, he is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Interesting. He's in California too?
Yeah, he's in LA.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
It all makes sense now. I would never get that.
Oh, so he's watching.
Safely go to one of their rallies. I don't even understand.
So I'm just curious. Is he watching the show with
I'm with them.
a glass of Clorox?
No, but hey, Quincy, this is the dude who came on with me and Travis when you and Travis was on the show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hey man, we all entitled to our opinion, but you know what? Sometimes you just gotta, hold your breath.
Well, my thing is like, because he's trying to say like I'm not saying shit that's like made up because that's not what I do. I don't do talking point shit. I don't do that. So yeah. I'm talking about things that have been proven already with them utilizing their where they are. They cachet Kushner, Ivanka, and Trump has been using this to further real estate deals and further other money funds for them and their family. So it's
super illegal. Like that's where
Doberman Pinscher game.
Part. Like so much illegal stuff. That's such a conflict of interest. But,
like even when he didn't want to divest his own company, like he didn't divest his companies the way he was supposed to when he got into the presidency. Like all this stuff is easily researchable, bro.
And that's what matters to me from a business aspect. He wasn't successful as a businessman that was handed money. Right. I mean, shit. So I mean, come on, bro. Yeah.
Like what? And this is who you tout to be a fantastic businessman. He don't even own most of the buildings that his name was on. Like,
right. But he understands America. It's all about the optics, like Dame said. And I agree with Dame. I don't think any president will go to jail. It's just,
no,
we sell too much of a dream.
Didn't he try to put that Ukraine stuff on Pence for a minute when he finally started getting the
Yeah.
Hey, y'all think Pence gonna ride for him?
Pence is not gonna flip.
Hey,
they don't do that.
Pence is a weirdo. He tried to electrocute the gay out of people in Indiana.
What does he call his wife, Quincy?
Mother.
Mother.
Like, bro.
Hey, don't they have like some weird rules? Like he
can't be around women if she's not in his presence.
Without
he can't be alone.
He like one of them gay pedophile dudes.
Like, he can't be alone.
That's why he can't.
Mike,
get us caught up.
Man,
I gotta be present when you mess with them kids.
Leave Johnny Q alone.
Yeah.
Mike Pence and this
Dr. Evil.
Mike Pence and this probably got like, you remember that movie People Under the Stairs?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, Peter. We on the same page with that thing. But
motherfuckers up under the stairs and the wall and shit.
he scares me more than Trump, though. I'll just be honest with you.
Does.
He does.
Pence is the type you gotta watch.
Yeah.
Trump can tell you everything he gonna do and try it.
Back when people was hoping Trump got impeached, I was like, nah, I don't want that. I wanted to be impeached.
At least he'll tell you what he gonna do.
Removed.
Well, the reason
I
Pence is scary because Pence actually
talking about that.
Yeah.
Talking about y'all think Trump is bad. Y'all better hope he don't get impeached because she said Pence is super evil.
Pence was cool with Sessions, right? They were boys.
Yeah.
And we know Sessions.
Hold on. Did Joe Biden further his family business by placing his son? Well, one, he didn't place his son in that position. And accept a gift from China. That's fact too. Okay, cool. Joe Biden ain't the president though. Thanks.
At least we got a Fox reporter in our comments. See, we're bipartisan.
Part of the mind programming now. The Trump supporters think that this is already Biden's America. And gonna somehow come in
man,
and
like that's the craziest thing. I be sitting, they be like, so when is Biden gonna stop the riots? I was like, motherfucker, who is the president?
He ain't even the president yet. Yeah, and that's my thing. Like you cannot like Biden, but you can't be like, I don't like Biden, but I like Trump. Like the two can't coincide. So you can have the system's rigged, Democrats, Republicans, but you cannot ignore what Trump is doing. I mean, it's right there in front of your face.
Yeah,
if you do, you're choosing to be ignorant.
That's just like people who are Christians that try to explain they support the Trump through their Christianity.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Great analogy.
Crackheads.
You ain't got no choice.
All right, let's go to no chat.
Yeah. I think that's a segue.
Nope, she said we fucked up. We missed the DM. We ran over.
I thought we still had 4 minutes.
Tory Lanez.
In the chat. No DM. Dang.
Oh, I don't read that shit.
Do things.
I can't
mix it.
You driving me crazy right now.
Oh, my bad.
hey, Ron really Teddy Riley is.
Yeah.
You said no DM. We went over. That's fine. We can save it for next week. Y'all gotta do y'all.
You save it for next week.
Famous worldwide show.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. All right. So everybody, want to thank y'all for joining us for Uncool. We'll see what shit show happens between now and next Wednesday because I'm sure there will be one. I'm sure there will be one. So, see you guys next time. Thank everybody for joining us. Until next time, Uncool Radio, we out.